All right, shalom, shalom. With the Brothers of Great Millstone, the church in Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakak Kodash. Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, those would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also, I'd like to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there, and as always, you believers. So yeah, we back once again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. As you can see, I'm with the Akim, Barak, Wadawada. The spirit allowed us to, gather and come back with another live lesson, which, as always, the subject matter and very content of it centers around prophecy, which for those of us in the know, we understand is nothing random about prophecy. It pretty much gives you a vivid illustration, if you will. It's very detailed concerning the latter days, the time we're in now, as touching this current system that governs over the planet Earth, and overall, the rise and fall of Esau, so-called white men. Hey, and that information is very comforting because, hey, this place is vexing. Our spirit got on me earlier, and I was able to commit it to video as touching the benefits, if you will, for being vexed. That places you in good company with the likes of Lot. And remember, Lot was delivered based upon that energy, So that's why we was called into this arena, to pretty much sincerely and earnestly desire the destruction of this place. Real quick, let's start off, what's that? I believe that's Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, the house of mourning. If we can set the tone right there. And again, shalom, to you listeners tuning in. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And most importantly, comforting, because why? We about to close in on some heavy times. As you can see, the title of this lesson, Prophecy Will Breed Perplexity. And we're going to get into this idea and that word in particular, perplexity. All right, so yeah, come on, you got it.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart.
Yeah, can we read that again?
It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting.
Yeah, so you see here where there's two extremes. No gray areas. Either your mindset revolves around feasting or the latter, because these entities, mourning and feasting, is based upon an idea, a mindset. So when you come into this arena, this gathering, the house of David, which is really the house of mourning, you're briefed concerning the judgments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, which he had prepared for this lifetime, versus the house of feasting. Now it says, for the end of all men. See, so you see where everything is a build-up. Everything centers around prophecy. That's the end of all men. So pretty much this folly that's on display, and I was looking at the heading right there, wisdom and folly contrasted. Right? That energy that's on display is nothing more than a mist, a shadow. It's temporal. So this is the end of all men, when you come into that realm, the house of feasting. Now the scriptures say the living will lay it to his heart, and this is where we come in. Those of us who have been quickened by this word, the Holy Spirit, and in that event, we have been classified as the living. See? This is what makes us alive. Matter of fact, let's continue out verse 3.
Sorrow is better than laughter.
Right, and that's the energy here in the West. You know, everybody's looking for comfort. They want to be catered to, right? That's Revelation, the 18th chapter. If I'm not mistaken, where that mirth will be replaced with mourning. So again, that's the energy here. But the scriptures say sorrow is better than laughter. And that sorrow is on display in the form of this doctrine. Because again, it entails the wrath of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Go ahead, Ak.
For by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better.
Now, and really that countenance is going into the doctrine, right? The face, which that face from a metaphorical point of view, if you will, as it relates to the scriptures. In other words, from a spiritual point of view, it really represents a doctrine, wisdom. You see? But the scriptures say the countenance of the heart, the sadness of the countenance makes the heart better. Why? Because you become wiser. We know that word heart is synonymous with your mind. In fact, that word in the Hebrew being la is your mind. Continue.
The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth.
Yeah, hey, that's those realms. This gathering develops a certain mindset. And again, it sounds eerily similar to Lot. If Lot was vexed, man, that means the council, right, in which he built it, if you will, the mindset that he was in, it was one of sorrowing, right, mourning. And again, this places us in great company, seeing that that's the same spirit we in. Go ahead.
It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools.
Yep. And again, that proves that's a realm. We're in an actual council where you hear the rebuke of the wise versus the world, those who are outside of this circle. They just hear the song of fools. Literally, at some point, we often go into that, how guys will turn a rap bar into a saying, you know, a trustworthy saying. That boy Jeezy said, you know. But, you know, that song of fools, you know, that's just an example of that being literally in a sense. But, you know, on a broader scale, we all know that this applies to whatever doctrine one subscribes to, which by default, if your mindset is not in synergy with the testimony of Yahweh Shah, by default, you're a fool, because the only wise counsel is what we are a part of. So, yeah, I believe that's pretty much it right there.
I got some real quick.
Yeah, you got it.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, and verse 13.
This is Proverbs 14 and 13. Even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness.
I may just going back on, and that's having that solemn spirit, you know, because knowing the report, even in laughter, even when you unwind, you still have the, you know, the understanding that ultimately all hell is going to break loose. The power, there's going to be a power outage. You know, your mind is mentally prepared for, you know, for that trouble to come. Just like Scripture talk about, they're putting on the spiritual armor. You don't put on the armor to go to the beach, go out and have a night on town. No, that armor is set up for a perilous time, a troublesome time, man. You know, and that's what this doctrine do. It braces us for that point. Going back to the point is that it says that going to that sorrow, having that sorrowful, you know, solemn spirit, you know, having you know, receiving this report, you know.
If I may add,
Oh no, oh, you got it, brother. No, you got it.
That little book, you know, it was sweet in our mouth and then it bitter in our belly. You know, once we understood the perils that are set before us, you know, it puts us in that mindset of hoping in the mercy of the Lord.
Yeah. Oh, Noah, you just know Noah was in that spirit. Noah had to be grouchy and, you know, because he was in a righteous spirit. He was a physical representation of the anger of the Lord. Because, right, he was pretty much the mediator in a sense of expounding to the world at that point that there was a flood coming. So he embodied the wrath of the Lord. He was burdened with that message, you know. But just to add to your original point, the point the brother Barak made, Baba Kashah, go real quick to the book of Ezekiel. I believe that's the 7th chapter. The point you made concerning the armor of the Most High. You're not going to wear that armor to a house of mirth. Why? You don't need it. You need a bulletproof vest for. You go into a former, you know. So yeah, that could be applied with this truth. If the scriptures, the proper understanding of the doctrine is likened unto armor, then that serves as an indicator that we're going to, through tribulation, enter into the next world. See? So what verse is that? I want to say they have not made themselves ready to the battle. Is that right here in Ezekiel? Yeah,
it's like Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 14. They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready.
Right, so that's what the ministry entails. The overtone of it is to warn you. Oh, the Apostle Paul made the statement, I am free from the blood of all men. Why? Because he hadn't shunned to expound unto them the entire gospel, proving that the gospel, in a nutshell, really promotes, it encourages you, if you're an Israelite, of course, to return to your power. That fortress. Why? Because he's about to bring forth judgment, man. Oh, and I touched on that earlier as well through the Spirit, which we often touch on the fact that Sodom and Gomorrah was just a sample size for that greater work. So you have Babylon and great wickedness, great resistance that's touching righteousness here in the earthly realm. You just know that there's going to be a great judgment to combat that. See, so that's why the scriptures were presented. The ministry in itself is likened to a trumpet being blown to prepare you for something. And to prepare you for what? Continue.
But none goeth to the battle.
Right, so that's what you're being prepared for. A time of resistance. That's pretty much what a battle symbolizes. A form of resistance, you know, an oppositional force. So you people are about to be met with a lot of resistance. Go ahead.
For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof.
Right. And you just know that's dealing with America, Babylon the Great. Because this is a place where there's a multitude. Matter of fact, let's click on that word real quick.
Strong's H 1995. It says murmur, roar, crowd, abundance, tumult.
Right. Yeah, that's the multitude that the Lord's wrath is on. Matter of fact, continue.
It says sound, tumult, confusion.
Yeah, that word right there is incorporated there for a reason. Because really, America is the land of confusion. Right? So that multitude represents everything that embodies. Remember, we're dealing with clues. That, you know, these tokens are for us to, fill in the blanks. So now you can narrow it down to, well, hold up, where the Lord's wrath is going to be on display, you know? And upon further examination, you see where it have to be America. This have to be the place where Yahweh, this is spiritually Egypt, right? Come on,
It says crowd, multitude, great number.
right, great number. That word great there should be one of those words that spark something. Go ahead.
Abundance,
Mm-hmm.
wealth.
Matter of fact, look at that word abundance. Let's just kind of dig into this and see where the Spirit takes us. Now, another word that was wealth is also synonymous with America. Yep, come on.
That word abundance, a very large quantity of something.
Okay, Con. You know, I thought it was going to go more so towards fulfilling. You know, a lot of time when something in its abundance as well, you know, it's to its full as well. You know.
You got a couple more definitions.
Okay, Con. Yeah, you can scan through them, but hey, that even applies as well because you know, the multitude, the masses of the people. Many are those who perish. I want to say, what's that? Second Ezra, the 8th chapter. There'll be many that perish. So you see here where the abundance of the land is going to be destroyed.
It says like the state or condition of having a copious quantity of something, plentifulness.
You can say if it had a
Strong's H 1995. It says to murmur, growl, roar, cry aloud, mourn, rage, sound, make noise, tumult, be clamorous, be disquieted.
Yeah, that's the word for the multitude, right? So you see where, yeah, that's going to actually be an energy here, and it really is already going on. You got motherfuckers like protesting, they stopping traffic. I was just watching that today. These motherfuckers got trying to drive, get to the house, bunch of weirdos just locking arms and stopping. The guy jumped out and pushed him out the way, and then he got back in the car. And he started just moving, and they went on, got the way. But there's been instances where motherfuckers run through their ass, man, and plow them down. It's going to be a heavy spirit of restlessness here in America, Babylon the Great. Come on, Walt.
It says to be in a stir, to be in a commotion. If I could look at this word commotion. Commotion, a state of confused and noisy.
Yep.
And it's like it. And noisy disturbance.
Oh, you're going to see why America is coined as Babylon the Great. And also other titles, the Valley of the Shadow of Death. It's going to be a lot of death. Which we got a little information we're going to bring forth as well, you know, through the Spirit. And it shows you, it proves that, man, we're in very turbulent times. These are those times. But you know what's heavy about it? Remember, it's going to be sudden evils. That's how the Lord is going to snare the people. So we see it, right? We watching, but the people of the city, the inhabitants of the city, they're not heeding. We can see the drama coming and unfolding, but the people, they can't see it. But guess what? There's a science behind it. The Lord is looking to snare them. Yep. Come on, Rob.
Yeah, another definition caught my eye. Says civil insurrection.
Wow.
Huh.
if I may,
Yep.
going back to the title of the lesson, that perplexity, these people gonna be without answers. So, the course of their action is gonna stand in their power because they don't know which way to turn. That's civil insurrection,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, your doctrine
Mm.
is gonna be the source of your fate. Whatever your mindset is, that's gonna be you're gonna be rewarded. That's why there's an emphasis on wisdom, the counsel, right? The testimony, the word. Yahweh Shai, man, that's the deliverer. It's brought forth in the form of a doctrine. So your mindset is going to be challenged. All of you out there, these guys, even amongst Israel, they're coming up against the authority, the apostles and elders. Matthew the 12th chapter, it outlines the penalty for that, man. Speaking up against the council, man. You're going to be visited for every idle word. We're going to get into that perplexity that's heavy. We didn't went into it before, but this is a perfect time to bring it right back out. See? Because really from this point on, certain precepts, certain prophecies is a permanent fixture.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get into that word perplexity. You're going to see where it's intertwined with God's doctrines. They're going to be called on it. You're going to be called on that. And the only ones that's going to be hedged and kept, and you people going to see, you're going to see the difference of who serve the Lord and who don't. So, was it more on that up?
No, that was it on it.
Con. So we can go back unless you got some, Barack.
Oh no, I ain't got none.
Yeah, con. So we can. That's pretty much it right there.
Okay.
Yep. So let's go back to Ezekiel the 7th chapter and the 14th verse again.
Okay. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof.
See, that's so pretty much there's a science behind the people not hearkening, being deprived of those attributes that leads to life, ears to hear and eyes to see. Imagine being in a situation where the only thing that's between you and that danger is being alarmed, but you can't hear that alarm. Now, any hope that you had have been taken away. See, the only hope is to hear the report and go into that refuge, go into a certain mindset where you place all of your hope in Yahushua, the deliverer. That's the only way out of this. See, if you don't develop that mindset at some point between now and when the perils is upon you, that's it. There's no other carnal way you can withstand this battle here. And like you said, you got to have on that armor of the Most High. You got to be clothed with a certain mindset. Come on,
Con.
in fact, we can continue right here.
Con.
It's
it says the
we was holding something else as well. I don't want to forget that. You was reading something. I forgot what we was reading that. Want to make sure we don't lose that. But before we got here.
Ecclesiastes 7.
Ecclesiastes 7. Yep, con. Yep, we go back there. The water.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7.
No. Let's go back here, but I just wanted to pretty much keep in mind that we left off right there.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence, and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword.
You see, this is what the battle entails. There's going to be pestilence within, the sword without. pretty much at every turn, you're going to be faced with a form of resistance. See? You got it.
And he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him.
Right, see? The famine. And again, once you begin to connect the dots, you say, well, hold up. America is the only landscape, if you will, that makes sense, because this is a place that's prided on eating, right? You got food at every turn, is readily available. So why would you have a famine? To combat those luxuries. So that's why it all makes sense. Everything points to over here, man. And you know what, man? And I mentioned that earlier about being vexed. These people, man, being around these people, man, the way they drive, everything hurts about these Babylonians, man. The Babylonian experience to drive you to being vexed. And then you know what you comforted by? Oh, the famine gonna get that nigga. See, it makes sense. You see why the mind that you in, your walk, it all have to intertwine with this. That's the only way it's going to comfort you, because if you really still have some sentimental values here and such, you'll become offended at some point of what this information entails. So you have to be all in. And so then when you hear these scriptures, it's comforting. Yeah, you know. I was watching The Twilight Zone, The Good Life, with the little boy.
Oh, man.
That's a classic, man. That's a classic, man. And they was on pins and needles. They was like, that's a good thing you did, Anthony. And that's how we is about Yahweh Shai, you know. No matter how bleak the report, we in agreement. You know, let your will be done. Yep, come on.
It says, but they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like those of the valleys, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity.
Yeah, man. Hey, so hey, one thing that should jump out right there is the word. Hey, I'm hearing I hope that ain't on my end.
So I think that's on me. So like,
oh, okay. Yeah, but that word there, escape. You know, that dramatizes everything as well. You know, someone escape from any situation. That means that situation was dire. So, matter of fact, let's continue on this up.
All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water.
They're not going to be stabilized. They're not going to be steadfast in that day, because they're going to be confronted with things that they never imagined. Oh, because, hey, look, man, the Lord about to open up, man. We often speak of the, you know, the natural things that traditionally you have somewhat of a feel for, a famine, right? You done heard stories of famines and even cannibalism. Like in the 1800s, you had a caravan of settlers going out west, the Donner Party, right? I don't know if you're hip to that yet, but they pretty much they wrecked. They got shipwrecked pretty much on some mountains up in Minnesota or something, going out trying to get out west. And it was I don't know, maybe 100-man caravan. And they all end up eating each other, man. Chasing each other down and plotting, killing the kids, and dragging them off. So there's already been a famine, a cannibalism and a famine out here. I mean, it's already been experienced. So, hey, this is the grave. This is the perfect place that accommodate the evils. Come on,
It says, they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them.
And horror, those words is heavy, man. Again, it dramatizes the scene. Continue.
the shame, it's like it, and shame shall be upon all faces.
You know what? That's that perplexity. Because all of you who had your doctrines with all you believed in, you're going to be brought to shame. Your doctrine is not going to pan out. And that happened in the time of Noah. Imagine the shame that covered them niggas' faces, and because they was fascinated with Noah, just like they is with the prophet. You know, they come and try to debunk. They have a rebuttal. They desired them drop the mic moments. But then that rain started to come down, man. You got to just know the shame that was on their face. Go ahead, Doc.
It says, and baldness upon their heads.
Right. So that's pretty much it. We can go back to
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth.
Again, there you go, those mindsets. Continue.
It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools.
See that? So again, that's why we was brought in, to be brief concerning the wrath of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is really all cemented by way of a particular doctrine. This wisdom, this knowledge that we possess, it pretty much gives you a glimpse into a time of mourning and judgments. See? And by default, it creates that mindset. Now you're more prone to cry out for some form of mercy from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. See? Your desire is to be kept from the said perils. Which again, we in that time. So any brothers got anything they want to bring out? If not, let's go to the articles as promised. We're going to try to run through
them. This is from the People's Voice.tv. Biden hires Bill Gates to flood the internet with AI censorship bots.
Yeah, we already know who that's geared towards. You know what I mean? Those who have the testimony of Yahweh. It tells you that in the book of Revelation, the 19th chapter, where the dragon will eventually set its sights on the woman. And those, again, who have the testimony of Yahweh. So yeah, you got it, brother.
It says, the Biden administration has hired Bill Gates and other billionaire technocrats to flood the internet with AI censorship ahead of the 2024 election, according to reports. It says a report from the House Judiciary Committee on Tuesday exposed a secret AI-enabled censorship campaign aimed at preventing Trump from becoming president.
Now, what you're going to find out is that's really surface level. That's face value. But there's a more sinister plot behind this whole AI technology. You're going to see where it was designed to somehow stop the momentum of the word. And these Israelite groups, they don't know really how powerful, this word is. They just think it's another fad, if you will, the phase in Black culture, in a sense. But those of us who truly understand what's going on through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, through the mercy of the Lord, we understand that this word is pretty much altering, it's changing the very dynamic of your reality. So this series, these devils is looking to combat the word going forth. That's the perfect. You know what? You know what proves that? That's the perfect technology to do so.
Mm.
And because remember, they had people manually watching our videos. Most of them bugged out, or probably a subscriber now. Probably saying, Shalom Malak the water. Those ones who they had. Because a lot of them people was bugging out. They had to watch our videos all night, and they thought it was easy. They was getting alerts all day. They still dropping videos. Oh, the scriptures say that you might persuade a gainsayer.
Mm.
Trust me, those prophecies are being fulfilled, whether knowingly or but that's a whole nother. But this is the perfect resistance right here. Just go ahead and create an AI form of resistance to. And we just experienced that before we started the live. We did the search, and they sent us to some crazy shit. Come on.
It says reclaimthenet.org reports the accusations.
Oh, that right there. That whole site, Reclaim the Net. I mean, I don't know if they saying that in the sense of the internet. Maybe I might be tripping, but it have to be because the overtone is what? Censorship.
Mm-hmm.
So to reclaim it from who? Because really, we took over the internet. Great Millstone. That algorithm, all those videos, these channels you people know nothing about. And a lot of them brothers you don't be listening to, them brothers, hey, that'd be the deep, it'd be heavy information coming through them channels. They hidden. Go ahead,
The accusations focus on a series of AI tools currently under development. Financial backing for this venture has reportedly come from the Biden administration, leading to concerns about the permeation of political influence and freedom of speech.
That's one of the words. The act of being permeated. Like, come on, yeah, read it. Salakia, read that again.
It says financial backing for this venture has reportedly come from the Biden administration, leading to concerns about the permeation of political influence and freedom of speech.
See that? Political influence and freedom of speech. Yep. So, yeah, that term, misinformation. I don't know, did they have that in there too? Was it any more in this?
Yeah, Khan. It says, according to the report, the administration has invested millions of funds in AI research. The objective.
Why? Because then they can censorship. They have certain words. They probably just got one word like Edom or Esau or something like that in there, and the AI disrupt everything. Yep, come on.
Khan. The objective of this activity is stated is the creation of handy tools capable of targeting and suppressing misinformation.
Right. So that misinformation, just that term, not just this article or whenever you hear that term, misinformation from an authoritative source, that's dealing with the testimony of Yahweh Shai for real, man, in its perfection. Because again, you have to be willing with faith to trust in what the scriptures say. You have to filter these things through the prophecies. And I mentioned it earlier, Revelation, the 19th chapter, where the dragon will set his sights on the woman, in particular, the remnant of her seed. Why? Because they have a certain testimony, which these devils frame as misinformation. Because they don't care about some nigga just popping his gums. No, what holds weight is this word. We calling out key names, Edom, and they like, oh shit, So pretty much this have caught the attention of the powers that be. What's that? Isaiah, is that Isaiah 13, that they might go into the
Gates of the nobles.
gates of the nobles.
I got something for y'all.
Yep, you can expound on it.
Con, the book of Psalms 11 and verse 2, just going back, because I had an article try to say concerning Trump and those who for him and everything, but like the other brother mentioned, that's surface level, man. It's just a mask to show who they really going after. It talks about how the sword is in their lips.
Mm-hmm.
So this man, his rhetoric and his laws and legislations is he'll word it in such a cunning manner,
Yep.
but not knowing this nigga waging war on you, man.
That word permeate.
God,
that word full of shit, man. You look that word up, that's gonna contribute to you being vexed. You might look up that word permeate, man. Hey, that's cool. Oh, Slacky, you want to make a point? Slacky.
That movie that you always go to, damn, what's the name of it? Yes, Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, you hear that first Slacky. No, you got it out.
Hey, you try to make sense of the movie, you go to the central point and the nigga just mumbles some shit. And you know what? That's Esau, because Esau is that cunning hunter. Remember that, and that was a good point. Like the smoke screen, he has these figureheads, but really the prize is the elect, man. That story, or I often go into that too. That Terminator, I believe it's Terminator 1. Remember when Sarah, she was in the club, and the Terminator came in. He was ready to. He was trying to kill her, and the guy from the future was in there, and she really did. Nobody in the club knew what was going on. That fight, it was dealing with lifetime. It was dealing with ages, man, and the people in the club was just oblivious. There was collateral damage in a sense, but it was a silent little war. They didn't even understand what was going on. But see, that's what's taking place now. They really got their sights on the poor, man. Those who you people look at as insignificant, they got your files, and come on out.
This is Psalms chapter 11 and verse 2. For lo, the wicked bend their bow, they make ready their arrow upon the string, that they may privily shoot at the upright in heart.
See, and that's what this man does. He's pretty much setting up these different laws and legislations to where he's able to wage war on you. And who's the target? The upright in heart. The house of David, man. Those that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, and that's what separates us. The testimony of Yahweh Shai, these things that we speak, it goes totally against what he stands for, man. Going back to we went into it last night on the Proverbs, the 10th chapter.
Yep.
Things we speak on and our expectation is totally contrary to what he's trying to forward in the earth. That was it on that.
It says the objective of this activity, as stated, is the creation of handy tools capable of targeting and suppressing misinformation. Once operational,
like it, that's the upright in heart. The information that we have has made us upright. These devils deem it as misinformation because naturally it has to be a conflict. Why are you worried about misinformation? There's motherfuckers out there with missiles, man, and guns. Because and that's why one of the titles of the prophets is the poor here in his lifetime. We came out and let you know off the rip, as they say. We peaceful, man. We just telling you what the Lord said. Now, not like your boy, who snitched on the Lord, General Yo Hunter. Nigga fled to the east. It was God. But we conveying the words of the Lord, man. Just as Noah, but we are fully persuaded. We sympathize with that message. It's not like we reluctantly, no, we agree wholeheartedly, with it. Yep, you got it, Doc.
It says, once operational, these utilities could ostensibly be handed over to major social media platforms.
Right. See that? And these YouTube channels, you thrust that in that same realm. These are social media platforms, literally. So pretty much this has caught the attention of Esau. This is a direct threat to his kingdom. Oh, what's that? Well, no, when you go into history, secular history, speaks to how they cast out the Jews pretty much out of Rome. Yeah, why? Because they was pretty much stirring things up. They was teaching of a new king coming. See? Oh, that even goes hand in hand with the Nero. Even around that time when Nero eventually burnt down Rome and began to blame it on the Christians, the anointed ones. So pretty much what hunts Esau is really the ghost of Yahweh, the word, a decree, right? That's why it hunts them so much. They try to just disregard any idea of there being a most high. They'll come up with a Big Bang theory or whatever to help them sleep at night. But the Lord got the prophets up just hewing them down. And what the scripture say, consume them. He said, consume them with the spirit of his mouth. They are being consumed by it. So now they have resorted to these tactics. They're coming up with fighting words now, pretty much, Yeah, because the scriptures say that, an old king who will no longer be reproved.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Old king that will no longer be admonished. You get to the point, hey, look, I'm tired of this, And then come back. That's what's happening. So yeah, because I'm on this article.
That was pretty much it on this article.
Yeah, so if brothers got anything, y'all can bring it out. If not, let's just go through it.
It's like it says no cash accepted. Signs are bad news for millions of unbanked Americans. It says how many people don't have a bank account and just how difficult has it become to live without one.
If I may, hey, to show you that's that B system, man. And this devil is making it more difficult for you to have. It's certain requirements you got to have in this lifetime to even live, man. You got to have a phone, a car, a driver's license,
right?
All this shit, man. And now, as you can see, as we're getting closer and closer to that time, now the word just having a bank account is even in the talks. How hard is it for you to even live without one? Show you that it's gonna get to the point you can't.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be facilitated by the sea hip.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's that snare element. Because when you consider a snare is a preposition element that comes to it, is already there. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that's what happens. You go into the snare, and the infrastructure is being laid out perfectly. Really, it's brilliant because we know it goes back to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Come on.
Kun, it says these questions are becoming increasingly important as more businesses refuse to take cash in cities across the U.S. If I may, you know, we got what is that? The Crossplex. They don't take cash anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I think that was you. Did you do a video on that or something? One of you brothers. Okay.
Yep.
And that's going to be the norm. Or even up there at the Legacy Arena.
Mm.
If I'm not mistaken, it was an event that happened, and I don't know if it was due to the parking or it was something where it was no cash. You know, they ain't dealing with cash. And I'm pretty sure it's like that in all these different arenas, and the stage is being set. Prophecy, the only thing that makes sense. But again, who viewing prophecy? Everybody out here individually or collectively or whatever the case might be, but it's still two extremes, those who have the truth and those who are without. But pretty much you're viewing, it's like you're viewing a movie. Or so like everybody's watching it through a certain channel. You watching BET, and we watching another channel. We looking at life through this lens of the spirit of prophecy. So these people gonna be snared. Come on,
It says people without bank accounts are shut out from stores and restaurants that refuse to accept cash.
and that's gonna be all of them. So they pretty much softening the blow. You see that gradualism spirit that's often associated with the serpent, man. He's creeping up on you. So now you hear the lingo. The stage is set for you to brace yourself being off the grid in a sense, not being able to continue in this system. Now, I want to throw this out there. When it goes to digital, we can still deal. We can still deal. We go to digital. You got your currency, however you got, whatever currency you got, Bitcoin or whatever. But the boundary is when you are required to get it implanted in you. And see, that's the cutoff point. So it's important to understand that too for you out there listening and so on and so forth, because you'll be over righteous just because it's all digital now. You already done packed your book bag. You already taking on the look of one off the grid, just 1 minute you got a book bag on. So yeah, but it's when they say you got to put it there, that's when you resist the advances. And the Lord got us. Because hey, it's already written. We just desire, our hope is to be cast among those who will be preserved from the said perils. So yep, you got it up.
I think that was pretty much it on this article.
Yep, we can run through it. I see we have like 55 minutes. That's perfect. We try to run through them and close it out.
It says final burst from devastating California storm renews threat of floods and slides. It says at least 7 dead across the state.
Yeah, that's taking place right now, pretty much, right? I saw some where it was footage of, the water, certain debris floating. Come on,
Wow. It says at least 7 dead across state, and wet weather dumped over 1 foot of rain in region, causing 475 mudslides around Los Angeles.
Right. Is it a read on that? Oh, shit.
Okay.
Like that flood carrying that away too. That's like you finna make a point.
Oh no. I was just that was pretty much the point on that.
Okay, Con. Yep, you got anything else? You know, we can run through it.
Con. It says UN chief warns the world is entering an age of chaos.
Yeah, a world of chaos. Oh, that goes back to that definition for the multitude.
Mm.
Wrath is on the multitude, and the words associated with it was commotion, confusion, uproars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to be the norm, and that's going to shake you people up, man. Come on, Al.
Con. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that the world is moving towards an age of chaos as a deeply divided Security Council struggles to address critical issues. If I may,
Mm-hmm.
Lord say he come to send a sword, everything is divided. The decisions that they're making is not coming to their perfection. They always having to go back to the drawing board. The next plan they come up with is worse than the one they had in the beginning.
Yeah.
It said,
Esau being resisted from being king. Yep, you got it up.
It says during his annual address presenting his priorities for 2024 to the Security Council, Guterres said the conflicts and wars across the world were creating a dangerous and unpredictable reality for innocent civilians.
Oh, well, hold up. The opposite of unpredictable is predicting. And we know that goes back to prophesying. So things are going to be like unpredictable to everybody else. They're going to be, a certain level of suddenness, right? But it's predictable. We predicted it through the Spirit. It's going to be all hell breaking loose out here on the streets. You're going to have marauders, those death angels. It's going to be released. They're already out here. They're going to be taking form of whatever, the Lord allows, whatever spirit, whether it's beasts, fowls of the air, people, dangerous and unpredictable. It says a reality for innocent civilians. But really, you people are not innocent. You've been brought over here. You was born in this lifetime to pretty much succumb to the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shah. So was it any more on that? The brothers want to add something to
that?
That was pretty much it on that article.
If I may though, and just the point of them just acknowledging that everything is going downhill. He said they going into that we said a time of chaos.
Yep.
So that showed that the times about to be times are stirred up. We're going into another era, an age of chaos. It talks about the Lord does not move or stir the tides until the measure is fulfilled.
That's the lesson right there too. The age of chaos.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be chaotic. Oh, the scripture said the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit, twisted. That's that whirlwind. Yep, Con. You know what? Let's go to the feature scripture, if you will. Like I mentioned, I wanted to kind of look at that word perplexity again, so you can run through it. You brothers can jump in there.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon earth distress of nations.
If I may, and all these things are happening simultaneously at a high rate, man.
Yeah.
You know, ain't no what you can go into history and say all these things happening at the same time at this high rate. That's why I kept saying and from the different moon cycles, you know, different phases of the moon to the solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, planetary alignments. The Pentagon reporting
Yeah.
reporting to you concerning so-called UFOs, as well as what's taking place upon the planet Earth. You hear about nothing but war, evil, and pestilence, man. To what it's a you get you it comes straight to your phone. It's an app the way it can inform you concerning these things that take place upon the planet Earth. You know, you got it out.
Like it. I believe it's a eclipse, another major eclipse on April the 8th.
Okay.
If I'm mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's another example of signs in the sun and the moon
Mm-hmm.
and in the stars. Yeah, but like you mentioned, it says and simultaneously and upon the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So that proves that the heavens dictates the affairs on the planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You got it up.
Con, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roar.
Yeah. And if I may, the sea and the waves represent the people. There's going to be a heavy spirit of unease and restlessness, which is only going to intensify. It's going to grow in its perfection. Remember, the scriptures is referred to as a seed.
Mm-hmm.
Like the word is spoken forth, we know it influence. It pretty much dictates the affairs on the planet Earth, and they only grow and grow and grow into its perfection. But again, the point there is they're going to be, all of these things is going to be bridged, if you will, by perplexity. This is what it's going to develop. So, yeah, can we look at that word up?
Con. Strong's G 639. It says to be without resources.
Right, to be without resources. And again, that contributes. The resources here that's made readily available here in America, Babylon the Great, was set up to contribute to your comfort. Right, you can flush the toilet and your dome just disappear. You take a hot shower, you got water, food, and hey, like we mentioned, even the homeless out here, they full. That's why they laying around and shit. They full, and they pretty much just want to, they want to be entertained, man. Hey, go got the homeless guys. They already full and got some change. Right, so this place is going to be without resources. And it tells you that in Revelation, the 18th chapter. That's touching that scarcity of harvest. So yeah, you got it out.
Con, it says to be in straits, to be left wanting.
Right, to be in straits. It's going to be a level of difficulty. You're going to be left wanting. Yep, go ahead.
It says to be embarrassed, to be in doubt.
Hold up, we read that in the book of Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. That's touching that battle, which you are to prepare for, and how eventually those who succumb, they will be shamed. They will be covered in shame. And it goes back to the original point. The doctrines you guys subscribe to, all of your rebuttals, your diss videos, You doing 3-hour live streams dedicated to, you know what I mean? And guess what? You're going to be embarrassed in that day. Because, matter of fact, let's continue in this definition. You're going to see the very essence of perplexity. Go ahead.
It says to be in doubt.
Be in doubt. You know, the first thing come to mind, your followers.
Huh.
Because see, once the shepherd is struck, then the followers will be brought to a state of confusion. And you people going to be in doubt. Because really the doubt is the manifestation of your incredulity, man. Which is doubt is the opposite of faith. Go ahead.
Not to know which way to turn.
Right, you're not going to know which way to turn. And you see where that narrows down to what? Decision making. And see, this is what the elect is going to possess in that day. Elite decision making. Not based upon our strengths, but we're going to be led by the Spirit. The Lord have you make certain decisions. It's going to be channeled through you. You know? The Lord being with you. Angels is going to emerge. A guy you just thought you knew ever since the 11th grade. Just the most regular guy, you know what I mean? You might have saw him smoke a cigarette. Who cares? Oh, when you read the book of Tobit, remember the angel, he made it as if he was eating. Yeah, you're going to have angels emerging. So the elect is going to be led. This thing is going to get very interesting, man. Because the more the resistance, that's going to provoke the miracles of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to be elevated. Come on.
Con. To be at a loss with oneself. Be in doubt. It says not to know how to decide or what to do.
And you notice, right, this all ties into your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That word decide, we all know it goes back to discernment. And that's a critical piece. That's touching, the fruits of wisdom, man. So, yeah, all you guys out there who came up against the word, Yahushua, which is on display through his men, pretty much you're not going to know what decisions to make. You're not going to know which way to turn. You're going to be unstable, right? Because remember, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of that time. Anything outside of that is going to breed perplexity. Yep, come on. Was it more on that?
In the Strongs, it says to have no way out.
Yeah.
I.e., be at a loss mentally.
Yeah, that's right. That's the very nucleus, man. That's the source of your very being, your mindset. Once you lose that, give me any plague of the plague, but the plague of the heart.
See.
Once that is taken away, then you're through. So now we being groomed. This thing gonna be so dramatic. If that's the best word I can find. To where you need to be groomed for it. Right? This is a process of you being groomed to withstand that. We pretty much putting on the armor. You know, that dramatic moment before you go out to war. Go to the room, you got to know the room is quiet. Serious business. So pretty much now we're in the phase of putting the armor on to be ready for it.
If I may, Peter said, "Gird up therefore gird up the loins of your mind."
Mm-hmm.
Because as you mentioned, that's going to be one of the things that's going to be taken from these people is their minds. That's part of the captivity. That they're going to be taken by the way of fear. That's going to contribute to that's going to be a plague as well. your mind's being taken away from you. I think it's a term called shell shock or something like that.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Your foot pretty much is going to be taken. Right. And we read that they're going to be feeble, the knees weak and feeble. That's a symbol of them not being stabilized in that day. So yeah, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there. And as always, you believers, to the next time, shalom.
Shalom.